Yeni düştü. Farha. Düştü.
Today, the first wild boar eradication campaign of the year has officially begun. In close coordination between local residents and the authorities, we headed straight into the hot zones, areas that have been overrun by wild boars for months. These animals don't just destroy crops, they also attack livestock and pose a serious danger to humans during unexpected encounters. As soon as we arrived at the rendezvous point, we wasted no time. Scopes locked, we started scanning the surroundings. There they were, a large herd of wild boars. When everything was set, the shooting began. It was extremely challenging to land accurate shots from such a distance. When everything was set, the shooting began, but with skills honed through countless hits, we managed to take down a few targets. We recalibrated our scopes and continued firing, bringing down more as they tried to flee under the canopy of trees. Suddenly, another boar appeared in our line of sight. With the crosshairs steady, the shots rang out. The target took a hit and tumbled down the hillside. Several nearby boars couldn't escape in time and were also taken down, but many managed to flee. After the earlier battle, we switched ambush locations. Then came a thrilling surprise. A giant wild boar emerged out of nowhere. But we were too careless. The boar suddenly changed direction and charged at us in a furious rage. There was no time to think. A rapid burst of gunfire erupted. I managed to drop the beast just in time before things got out of hand. While ambushing from a mountain ridge, we spotted a herd hiding in thick brush. We waited patiently in our positions. They moved out, and that's when we struck. Weapons ready, our entire team opened fire. Shot after shot rang out, targeting the massive boars with their glossy black coats. One by one, they dropped. Crossing into another mountain range, the number of wild boars kept increasing. We spotted another herd scaling the hillside, There was no time to hesitate. Their movements were clearly visible through the scope. Quickly locking in, we opened fire. A hail of bullets followed, knocking down one boar after another. One suddenly burst out from the bushes. I reacted instantly. One clean headshot, and the giant went down on the spot. However, amidst the chaos, a few targets still managed to slip away. From high above, looking down into the valley, we quickly spotted another large herd moving at high speed. Over 10 wild boars, clearly visible even from afar. Many were taken down in the crossfire, but new herds kept appearing. Chasing them head-on wasn't working. We decided to split into smaller groups and set up ambushes from different directions. The strategy worked flawlessly. No target could escape our sights. By the afternoon, we were down in the fields at the base of the hill. Only then did we truly realize the terrifying scale of the boars here. They were massive and moved incredibly fast. We had to use vehicles just to get close enough. As soon as they entered our line of fire, we pulled the trigger. The terrain here was open and easy to move through, but the herd scattered in all directions, making tracking a real challenge. Still, we did our best to take down as many as we could. Even though wild boars in this region appear in dense numbers, hunting them is anything but easy. After hearing gunshots, they've grown more alert and are now much harder to approach. By this point, we were physically exhausted and mentally drained. We decided to rest, regroup, and plan carefully for the next round. Tomorrow, we go again.
Hello, everyone. In recent days, a wild herd of boars suddenly stormed in and ravaged our crops, destroying the fields we had spent months tending to. We couldn't just stand by and watch. So, I teamed up with some experienced hunters and set off on an urgent mission to stop the destruction. Can we put an end to the chaos? Let's dive into this intense hunt and find out. As soon as we got out of the truck, our pack of hunting dogs crashed into the underbrush, a favorite hiding spot for wild boars. Just seconds later, a startled boar burst out of the bushes. We weren't fully set up yet, but we couldn't let the chance slip by. We decided to strike. Some targets were taken down right away, but others managed to escape. We immediately gave chase, looking for the next opportunity to attack. This hill was home to some hefty boars, which only fueled my determination to take them down. After a bit of effort and tracking with the dogs, we managed to bag a few boars back to back. With the dog support, we were able to isolate a few roamers. The struggle was intense, but we quickly closed in. Their roars echoed through the forest. Just a few clean shots from the team, and it was over. We moved to another mountain, a spot rumored to be a boar hideout. Watching a dense patch of brush ahead, I spotted a familiar dark shape. Instantly, I raised my rifle. One deafening shot, and the boar dropped in the spot. Before we could regroup, the nearby herd used the chaos to flee. I followed the track, snuck up on a thick bush, and managed to drop several more in a row. One shot, one kill. We continued the hunt, spotting signs of boar activity. Our team split up and set up an ambush. From a ridge, I watched a group running and seized the moment, pulled the trigger. One hit, and the boar rolled down a slope. We moved in to finish it off. We made our way to a nearby mountain. The dogs were still working like a well-oiled machine. It didn't take long before the pressure flushed the boars out. One of them was absolutely massive. The whole team was stunned. I couldn't let a chance like that slip by. I let loose a quick volley, and a few of them went down fast. This all was something to be proud of. But we knew more were still hiding out there, so we pushed on. At that moment, a few dark shapes moved along the hillside. We held our ground and waited. When the time came, one final barrage of bullets rang out. And with that, a giant boar collapsed, bringing our long and thrilling hunt to a close. After many thrilling and challenging hunting trips, this time we decided to take our experience to the next level with an even tougher mission. Not in remote mountains or vast fields, but deep within a dense, treacherous swamp. Yes, you heard that right. A massive swamp in Louisiana, USA, where the muddy and rugged terrain makes wild boar hunting incredibly demanding. With the support of an airboat and expert hunting skills, we were ready for an intense showdown. Follow along and join us as we take on this new challenge. This trip was more special than ever with the participation of Hank, Swamp King Turner, a legendary hunter with decades of experience battling wild boars. He meticulously prepared everything from bait and hunting knives to sturdy trapping nets. Our boat glided smoothly over the calm waters. Upon reaching an ideal open area, the team quickly executed the plan. We set up traps using wooden and metal stakes, creating a semi-enclosed area with high-hanging nets. Inside, food was scattered to lure the wild boars in. The moment they stepped in and triggered the mechanism, the net would drop, trapping these destructive creatures inside. Once everything was in place, we quietly retreated, keeping a safe distance to avoid alarming the boars. Time passed in suspense. Our journey through the swamp continued, and before long, we took down another massive wild boar. The boar lay motionless after a precise, fatal shot. Then, when we returned, the sight before us was exhilarating. An entire herd of wild boars had been caught. They thrashed and struggled desperately, but there was no escape. In no time, more than a dozen wild boars were subdued and loaded onto the boat. It was an intense, thrilling, and unforgettable hunting trip. With the help of the airboat, we pressed on in search of more giant wild boars. Eyes scanning every bush and every disturbed patch of mud. Signs of prey lurking nearby. Suddenly, a dark figure emerged. The team immediately slowed down, readying our guns. A well-aimed bullet pierced the animal's body, bringing it down instantly. Shortly after, we spotted and successfully took down several more targets. Wild boars became more active. We were determined not to let them escape. Navigating through the dense vegetation, we had to wade across small water channels, making it difficult to spot our prey. After tracking for a while, I finally caught sight of a dark silhouette. My footsteps left deep imprints in the muddy ground. The wild boar was still there, eagerly searching for food, completely unaware of the lurking danger. I needed to get closer. This was the perfect opportunity. Carefully adjusting my aim, I ensured that each shot would be as effective as possible. Direct hit. The bullet struck its mark, and the boar collapsed instantly. Fatigue from the long chase vanished in an instant as I smiled with satisfaction at our achievement. As twilight deepened, wild boar activity peaked, but we couldn't let any prey escape. The hunt pressed on. The thick vegetation and swampy terrain made every step heavy, but persistence paid off. Following the tracks, I spotted another dark silhouette ahead. The wild boar, completely unaware of the imminent threat, was still rummaging through the dirt for food. This was the perfect chance. I steadied my rifle, carefully adjusting the angle for maximum impact. Bullseye. The bullet hit its weak spot, and the boar dropped instantly. The exhaustion from the day's chase faded away as I grinned, knowing we had secured another victory in this untamed swamp. But we remained patient, lying in wait for the next target. Suddenly, a massive wild boar boldly entered the hunting zone. Seizing the moment, we signaled our hunting dogs to attack. Nightfall arrived. Their coordination was flawless. They bit down hard, preventing the beast from making any escape attempt. The wild boar roared and thrashed violently. but the dog's sharp fangs had it completely trapped in this life or death struggle. Though exhausted, the excitement remained. We knew that out there, many more wild boars were still lurking, and this journey was far from over. New challenges awaited us. In Calabria, wild boars have been appearing more and more in recent years, destroying farms and causing headaches for farmers. They usually come at 2 a.m. in groups of about 5 to 7, sometimes up to more than a dozen. They destroy farmers' crops and cause up to 80% crop losses in the region. One of the worst affected areas is Tuscany, where about 200,000 wild boars roam. To help farmers suffering from wild boars, we are here with modern hunting equipment to control as many wild boars as possible. Wild boar shelters are often in mountainous areas near the farm. Because the area is very large, we use drones to search for targets and scan the terrain, planning a quick counterattack. To effectively control the wild boar, we took cover behind a large rock and dense bushes. It sounds like a scene from an action movie, but no, it was real life. We listened attentively for every sound of wild boars and were ready to pull the trigger if And here it is. The wild boars have appeared about 500 meters from our position. I start to load the barrel and aim. A series of gunshots rang out right at the location where the wild boar was active. Can you guess, did any wild boar fall down? Wow, the trophy was a full-grown wild boar. I guess it could have weighed 90 kilograms. After harvesting this boar, the hunt continued. Here it is, another adult wild boar appears in our sights. And the gunshot rings out again. The wild boar has fallen. I hit it. Hurry up, let's go find it. Oh, despite being shot, this wild boar is still alive. I'll fire a few more shots to take it down immediately. Wow, it's quiet now. Let's get in the car, buddy. Every wild boar that was shot, we collected them immediately because this area is very large. If we hear the sound of hunting guns, other wild boar populations will come. Therefore, we need to move to kill more wild boars.
İyi dur. Vuruldu.
Do you see any movement in that bush? Focus, man. Wow, look what we found. A herd of wild boars trying to run away when they sense danger. Without hesitation, we opened fire. We weren't hunting wild boars for fun. We were trying to protect the fields and farms in the area that the farmers had tried to build. The mountainous area is so vast that we often have to walk to find wildlife. Sometimes they do not move in groups, they forage separately, making it more difficult to identify the target. 3.02S. After a while of searching, I got the result. Of course, I won't miss the opportunity to take it down. Wow, another herd of wild boars appeared. They panicked and ran away when they heard the gunshots. For herds like this, we usually target large wild boars to destroy. This not only ensures animal welfare, but also reduces the number of wild boars in breeding age. All the wild boars we hunt are collected and distributed to farmers in the area.
Welcome to one of the most intense wild boar hunts in the Australian countryside. Today, we're not stealthily tracking footprints on the ground. Instead, the hunting team will chase down their prey from above, by helicopter. From vast open fields to dense forests, the hunt unfolds at breakneck speed, where every shot is crucial. Get ready to witness a relentless showdown, where skill and determination are the keys to victory. Shooting from a moving helicopter while the prey is constantly on the run? Sounds like a tough level in a shooting game, but this is the real challenge that hunters face. Watch how these skilled marksmen turn the challenge into an impressive display of accuracy and precision. Oh wow, look at that! A whole herd of wild boars is frantically fleeing. But don't be fooled by their seemingly helpless appearance. These invaders are not only destroying crops, but are also responsible for severe soil erosion and the spread of deadly diseases like African swine fever. With speeds reaching up to 40 kilometers per hour, wild boars can scatter in multiple directions, making pursuit difficult. But this time, the hunting team has the perfect vantage point from the helicopter. The sharpshooters quickly secure their first victory of the day. What a fantastic start! Think hunting is only for men? Think again. Today, a female hunter is about to prove everyone wrong. Oh no! A massive herd of wild boars, so many that I can't even count them all. But without hesitation, shots rain down from the helicopter above. The boars scatter in sheer panic, but no matter how fast they run, escape is nearly impossible this time. And the most impressive part? Our female sharpshooter delivers an outstanding performance. This just goes to show that women can not only join the hunt, but sometimes they even outperform men. This is as intense as an action movie. That's all I can say after witnessing this adrenaline-pumping hunt firsthand. There they are again. However, these boars are smaller, and the dense trees make aiming much harder for the hunters. But nothing is impossible. In just moments, the hunters manage to take them all down. For years, wild boars have been a serious problem in Australia, with a population of over 24 million, causing billions of dollars in agricultural damage annually. Helicopter hunting is not just an exciting adventure, it's an essential method for controlling their numbers and protecting local crops and ecosystems. In dense areas, wild boars have the upper hand. They use every bush and tree for cover, tricking hunters and sometimes even vanishing completely. But luck isn't always on their side. Once they enter open ground, everything changes. A herd of wild boars panics and scatters as soon as they hear the helicopter. But where can they run? Once they are in the sights of Australia's top sharpshooters, their fate is all but sealed. These two shooters are absolute professionals. Oh my god. Within seconds, a series of precise, rapid shots take down one boar after another. No hesitation, no wasted movement, just pure skill and efficiency. The boars fall like a perfectly executed action scene. Hunting wild boars from above is an exhilarating experience that demands skill, focus, and strict adherence to safety rules. However, this is not an adventure for the inexperienced. If you haven't been properly trained, aren't familiar with firearms, or have never hunted from a helicopter, it's best not to jump in too soon.
Watch out.
Fierce herds of wild boars poured down from the mountains and forests, drawing closer to residential areas and farmland. Without fear, without the slightest attempt to hide, they destroyed crops, tore through fields, and wiped out months of hard work by local farmers in just a single night. We can no longer stand by and watch. Fueled by determination, armed with modern weapons and an unyielding spirit, we launched a counterattack, relentless and uncompromising, to defend the fruits of our labor. Together with a group of professional hunters, we set out for a remote mountain just outside the city. Each weapon was carefully checked, scopes aligned, magazines loaded. We were fully prepped for the intense hunt that lay ahead. Despite the tough terrain, our hunting dogs pushed forward nonstop, sniffing out tracks and charging into the wilderness. As expected, within 20 minutes, they had locked onto their first targets and launched into pursuit. The wild boars here were incredibly agile, forcing me to stay razor sharp and seize every single opportunity to strike. The chaos spooked a few of them. They tried to bolt across the mountainside to escape. But through the scope, every movement was exposed. With a few well-aimed shots, we dropped some of the slower ones. We pushed deeper into the forest. The dogs had locked onto another group, barking loudly and stirring up a frenzy. The moment they flushed out the boars, we were ready to fight. To maximize our effectiveness, we split up and took positions across the area. With smart coordination and strategy, we took down several more targets. That success only fueled our motivation for the next encounters. Suddenly, through my scope, I spotted another wild boar trying to sneak through the bushes on the opposite hillside, desperate to escape. But with our tight coordination, any hope it had vanished. We cut off its path and took the shot. Still, it wasn't over. The wild boars were everywhere. We had to keep fighting for hours. In the end, every trophy was carefully gathered and secured. The chase continued. The sound of barking dogs, shouts from the team, and echoing gunfire merged into a tense, adrenaline-filled atmosphere. Some boars were completely surrounded with no air. Panic set in, they made mistakes, left themselves open. That's all it took. One clean shot, and the target went down in an instant. The more boars we dropped, the more fired up the team became. But not everything went our way. Some of these animals were unbelievably cunning. They dodged our bullets and vanished into the brush in the blink of an eye. That only pushed us to stay more focused, more cautious with every single shot. After finishing the mountain chase, we tracked a few boars to a wide open field. Fortunately, the crops here had already been harvested, giving us a clear line of sight. Although the boars ran fast, the open terrain gave them little room to escape. Still, every shot had to be perfect, one mistake, and we could easily face a counterattack. We swept through the field, determined not to leave a single target behind. One boar was hiding in tall grass, but it couldn't fool the dogs. The moment it was found, we quickly surrounded it, forcing it out of hiding. Just seconds after it emerged, my teammate, lying in wait, took the shot. The crisp crack of the rifle echoed, and the boar dropped instantly. The hunt stretched into the evening. Everyone hoped this would finally push the boars out of the area. But it wasn't that easy. Gunshots still rang out here and there, proof that many were still lurking nearby. It wasn't until exhaustion finally hit that we decided to call it a day and head back. But the emotions lingered, tension, excitement, and an undeniable rush.
We arrived at Singyali on an early winter day, when the mountains and forests were covered in thick snow. The locals had warned of an outbreak of wild boars. They reproduced rapidly and caused endless destruction. The local Hunters Association organized a hunt to control the number of wild boars and protect the people. We joined the group, equipped with hunting guns, along with experienced hunting dogs, ready for the journey. Following the snow-covered trail, we were quite surprised to find our target so quickly. The gunshot rang out. The leader of the herd collapsed immediately. The pigs panicked and ran away, but we did not allow that to happen. Aiming the scope at the target, without hesitation, we pulled the trigger. After a crisp gunshot, 3 more wild boars were taken down. The remaining ones fled towards the slope. We split into groups to pursue, crossing the slippery snowy hills. The thick snow significantly reduced our speed. At this time, the herd of boars had run to the other side of the hill. With no other choice, we decided to attack from a distance. At a distance of 400 m, the whole group focused, held their guns firmly, and opened fire. The rain of bullets poured down, taking down a few targets. However, most of them were lucky to escape. We continued our pursuit, leading to another hill, where there were signs of a large herd of pigs hiding. This time, we applied an ambush tactic. When the first pigs came into sight, the order to fire was given. Close in on each target. Here it is. Did it think it could escape? That was a mistake. Changing tactics, we focused on single targets. Because, when a wild boar is shot down immediately, the others may not have time to realize the danger and not run away immediately. This allows us to approach and take down more targets. For pigs fell immediately, the rest scrambled to run away in panic. After the intense battle, the whole group was exhausted. However, before we could rest, we encountered another herd of pigs. Look! It's a large herd of pigs. We couldn't miss such a good opportunity, so from our hiding position, we continuously fired. was running out. As we followed the mountainside back to the rest stop, a few giant black figures appeared in our sights. And we certainly wouldn't let go of such a good opportunity. The gunshots rang out once again. One shot, one kill. As if re-energized, we successfully annihilated the herd of pigs. We quickly deployed our squad, opened fire, and finished off the last targets of the trip. We had missed a few targets. They were still trying to hide. As dusk fell, we returned with our spoils. As if re-energized, we successfully annihilated the herd of pigs. The locals breathed a sigh of relief knowing that the number of wild boars had significantly decreased.